What's going on, everyone? My name's Tenebris Infinite, and whether it's waiting out the 1 hour Reaper or Rival cooldowns, Tylovedon Base and its 1 hour cooldown, the more massive 4 hour wait time for loot to respawn, or even just waiting for a desired time of day, we have a heck of a lot of things to wait for in Generation Zero. So today, I'm going to show you dudes 5 ways I kill time in Generation Zero, since as a content creator, I have to kill time a little bit more often than most. Now, keep in mind, these aren't the craziest things to do, but until we get some sort of sleep or skip time mechanic in the game, these will be some great time killers you can do in between the spicy things, like missions, base defense, the Reaper, or farming experimentals. The first way I kill time, and it's honestly one of the more important ones on this list, is going on hikes. Generation Zero is chock full of incredibly vibin' hiking routes. So much so that there's a dedicated thread to hiking routes over on the forums that I'll have linked in the description down below. But my 3 favorite spots to go hiking are along Ibahoman Coast. This insanely scenic route has been a go-to of mine since literally the launch of the game, and 3 years later it's still one of the best areas in the game to go for just a kind of scenic hike. A neat thing too is this hike gives you a pretty clear view of the secret developer island called Monster Island, I believe. Not sure what that's in reference to, but the view is pretty neat. There are many machine spawns around here, so this hike is mostly just a relaxing kind of hike here in the game. But then the next hike is pretty much the polar opposite. It's a pretty tough hike with a high chance of Phoenix and Apocalypse hunters over on Himfell Island. From Himson Brigand, where you first land in Alpine Unrest, over the ski hill to Runhalla Emergency Center. This is a really spicy hike, especially if there's lots of machines, and you get to appreciate the unique ski slopes of Alpine Unrest. Pretty much a double whammy. A fun personal challenge you can do with these hikes is trying to go through without taking any damage, so no fall damage either. It's a little bit more tough than it sounds like. But once you reach the apex of the ski slope, it's a really awesome view, pretty much as a full 360 degrees. And reaching Runhalla after you've battled through a whole bunch of Apocalypse machines, especially the hunters because they really like these ski slope hills, it feels like a pretty solid accomplishment, and usually can take you a pretty decent chunk of time to get through. And the last hike I'll show you dudes here is a big hike in the mountains region. This hike is on the longer side, which is excellent for time killing, but winds up with a beautiful scenic view. A kind of unique fire pit, and is one of the most vibin' spots to sit and wait for night to roll in or dawn to strike in the game, hands down. There's not a huge risk of machines like on Alpine Unrest, but more so than Ibahoman, so that's kind of the fun thing of having a lot of hiking routes to explore in the game. You can have some that are just for enjoying the scenery, and some that are more spicy with machine spawns on the route. Maybe consider making a personal list of your own so you can remember where to go to when you need to kill time in the future. Now, the next one is at the opposite end of the spectrum of how I've previously given tips on my channel here. Instead of hitting up fast and efficient locations for loot, instead plan a stash of urban and bunker spelunking for really fat loot. Find a good album or get your buddies together and go through all the bunkers in the game. You'll walk away with some serious loot, or go to a big city and explore it. Now with the facelifts, a lot of the cities in the farmlands, forest region, and south coast all have hidden loot and set pieces that you can have a blast exploring, instead of just fighting machines till you're blue in the face. This next tip is one I always advise to new and old players alike. Head off to your favorite shooting range and waste some rounds practicing on the targets. You can come up with your own drills to work on stuff you might not be super tight with, like close range accurate shots against multiple enemies, strafing and firing accurately, quick scoping, and so much more. Removing some of the erratic behavior of the machines makes targets a more reliable practice method than just boots on the ground combat. There's quite a few target ranges, and now we can even build our own with base building, so there's no reason not to tighten up some of those shooting skills. Maybe pop on some tunes or relax with an alcoholic beverage if that's your thing, and have a chillin' session of target practice while either loot or rival timers expire. This next time killer is really only possible as of Phoenix Rising, but it's probably the most radical thing to do on this list, and that is thrill-seeking with lures. You can go out, test a lure, and see what kind of madness unfolds. Now, I say this is only possible as of Phoenix Rising for one main reason: Harvester drop stations. These lootables have the widest array of loot, with high chances for high-quality rare loot, some of which being radios and boomboxes, which are now offered to us in a farmable method with these stations. You can farm up a few radios, go to some spots that are void of rivals, pop a lure, and just see what happens. Thrill seeking with lures is actually something I do quite a bit just in my own casual play. You never know quite what you're going to get, either Phoenix's entire army or maybe just a smattering of machines. Either way though, it leads to some of the best time spent when you're trying to kill time here in the game. And provided you know the location that you're fighting in well enough, you can use these radios to choreograph some really excellent fights, and it's actually a little secret that I use for some of my filming here, provided I have the time to go off and farm. But it's this kind of crazy thrill-seeking that can kill absolute hours and provide you reliable loot along the way. And the last ultimate method I have for killing time in Generation Zero is finding opportunities to AFK. By AFK, I mean leave your character in a safe place, preferably a cleared bunker or very coastal safe house, but there are other spots as well, from like caves to idle houses. As long as the machines can't see you, they won't spot you, and you can benefit this by going prone or crouching. You'll want to do this in your spare time, so say for instance in the morning as you do maybe your morning routine, or at night when you're working on homework, having supper, or watching a show or a movie you like. Pop Generation Zero on in the background if you can, and you can use this idle time to refresh all your timers in the game. It's been my go-to for years now, my dudes. I farm, play guitar for about like 4 hours at night, or until it's daytime in Generation Zero, and I open my inventory or plundra to force a save, turn the game off, and leave it for the next day when I have to film or do something in the game. It works hella good, and as long as it's an available option to you, it trumps all of the others on this list. I use this all the time to set up unique shots of either sunrises or sunsets, or nice moments like using the lighthouse to show background snow at nighttime. Really, I've devised most of this because I'm so meticulous in how I film, so trust me when I say these all work excellently for killing time here in Generation Zero. So there we go, my dudes. This video is in response to you guys asking me how I kill time in my Reaper video. So if this helped you, then maybe consider leaving a thumbs up on the video here. It really goes a huge way in helping me reach the whole Generation Zero community. Hopefully someday, though, we'll have a solid skip time option in the game, but for now, these are 5 ways to kill time in Generation Zero. Cheers everyone, stay awesome, and I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace out, my dudes.